Marah took a sweater from her backpack and pulled it on. A baby cried out nearby, its reedy wail piercing through the noise. Marah turned to look, noticing that the baby's teenaged parents were practically children themselves. It didn't seem fair somehow, children having children, whereas she'd had 2 D&C procedures, met with Shanghai's top fertility experts, and tried a number of expensive diets and drugs, but still couldn't manage to carry a child into the 2nd trimester. Feeling a bout of sadness coming on, she took out her cell and scrolled through her mails. There were a few from her students, as well as one from her mother, Carolyn, who'd sent photos of the turning leaves in northwestern New Jersey, where she'd been living for the past 15 years with Marah's wealthy stepfather, Tom. Marah sent her mother a quick reply, "Beautiful, XOXO," before responding to her students' emails. Most of them were wealthy Chinese teens, with self-chosen Western names like Mars, Rolex, and Ice, studying English in preparation for life at American universities. Teaching ESL was far from where she'd thought she'd end up after graduating from NYU with a double major in art history and English. Marrying a Belgian was far from what she'd envisioned as well, but she'd met Eden at a time she'd needed an escape from the life that she was heading toward. He was different from the guys she'd dated in college, more confident and exotic, yet in a safe way. He was from Belgium, after all, and not Bolivia or Baghdad. When he'd gotten a job offer in Singapore, she'd gladly left her publishing job to go along with him. Asia seemed like the future, whereas the publishing industry seemed like it was on its last legs. Eden's 2-year assignment at HSBC's trading desk in Singapore had become a 4-year assignment when a promotion brought them to Hong Kong. And when he'd left that for a position with Credit Suisse in Shanghai, she'd taken up teaching at the Happy Bridge International School in Shanghai's Minghan district. It wasn't exactly what she'd planned, but life had had a way of making its own plans, a fact made painfully clear to her when her father had succumbed to cancer at the age of 41. The conveyor belt soon whirred to life, and the bags slowly began to emerge. Marah put away her cell phone and looked for their luggage, spotting their roller duffel bags first, which they used to transport their diving gear. Then she saw Eden's suitcase, a leather-trimmed globetrotter he'd bought a couple of years ago, before the market had tanked. She reached for one of the duffel bags, but before she could grab it, Eden approached and lifted it off the belt. "I got it, babe," he said. She watched as he put their luggage on a rusty cart, the knotty muscles of his arms moving like small animals beneath his skin. She felt a warmth slowly beginning to unfurl inside of her, then began to grow self-conscious again, and tugged her sweater down over the small bulge left by her pregnancies. "You really think we should be doing this?" she asked. "Come on," he said. "We need a break." "We could have gone to the States." "Visiting family isn't a vacation, Ma." "I know, but still, don't worry," he said, interrupting her. "It's gonna be great, I promise." He grinned again, and she forced a smile back. The vacation had been his idea. They were individually and collectively out of sorts, and they'd needed some time off, he'd argued. She'd reluctantly agreed. Not because she'd wanted to go, but because she felt she needed to go. Eden had become distant since her 3rd miscarriage, and she felt like she was losing him somehow, to work, to his hobbies, or worse, to someone else. He'd always been faithful to her, or if he hadn't been, he'd at least been discreet, unlike her sister's husband Brent, a hedge fund manager who openly chased anything in a miniskirt. Eden had been pulling away recently, though, talking less to her in the morning while they got ready for work, making fewer dinner reservations for them, and going more often and later to the gym. He touched her less, and he made